All right, so obviously we're going to start this one with the most talked about topic so far that I've seen on social media, and that's the Maui fires. And I know we put together a whole bunch of information that we found through social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, people messaging me, asking questions. So I think we got it all together here, and we're going to cover all of it, right?
Yeah. Are we gonna like start talking about how all the famous people still have houses over there? Like not the opener?
We might as well start with that one. The first thing that I wanted to mention because I
Pillows.
know
Are
there's
we gonna talk about pillows? Are you gonna talk about the pillows that she handed out? Because like that's just like here's a pillow. You have nowhere to put your head tonight, but here is a pillow for you.
I wasn't going to get to that one yet. I wanted to, because you got to understand, people who tune into this aren't all conspiracy theorists. Some of them are looking for, that piece of evidence that makes them say, like, okay, I got it.
That's
So
fine. You don't have to be a conspiracy type of person because I'm not. If I heard somebody gave somebody who just lost their whole town, who doesn't know where half their family is, she handed me a pillow, I would suffocate her with that damn pillow. You're giving out cars all the time. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. You get a pillow? That's what you're going to give me? A pillow? Not even a water? You're going to give me a pillow. Like any normal person will see that and be like, what the flipping fuck? Okay, continue. Sorry.
that's okay. The first thing I was going to point out about that was the trees. Anyone who's looking at the photos and the videos that they're taking from helicopters and all this stuff, they're seeing individual buildings and houses completely burned down to the ground to literally like ash and rubble. Not like when I've seen fires before, the houses kind of still stand up and then they come in and they bulldoze like all the burnt stuff. These things are just flattened. But if you had trees around your property, the trees are still standing perfectly and green and nothing burned them,
Okay,
which does
sorry.
not make sense no, it's fine. It just doesn't make sense in, you know, basic common knowledge. If everything's on fire and an entire like miles are going to go on fire, the trees are going to burn first because they're trees.
Okay, watch your words, common knowledge, blah, blah, blah. Because now I'm going to argue that. Like, you know this. I argue everything
Good.
with you. So, like, okay, so Hawaii, it's supposed to rain there. Like, I've never been. My mom went. She said it was absolutely gorgeous. She said it's definitely something that should be on my bucket list, this, that, and the third. Um, but it rains every day. And like they have a bunch of crops, everything like that, like whatever. So like I could understand the trees soaking up all the like water and like moisture and everything like that, and those being the last things to burn because like there's different types of trees. You know what I mean?
Really?
Oh.
So, in your world, wet trees will burn after steel melts.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, people in California or whatever, you always see them on TV outside with the hoses, like when the fire's like 2 miles away and they're like trying to wet their house and everything like that and their property. So, like, who knows? Granted, it is still weird. Like, that plus all the famous people still having property, just like it's not adding up to me. If everybody lost their houses except for like the trees were still there, okay, maybe I would be like, wow, that's a freak thing. But like, yeah, it is weird. But like we can't sit there and say that like it wouldn't ever happen, right? I need somebody
Mm.
like a botanist, right? Is that
I'd
something?
be, I'd, I'd be pretty safe to say that if you sprayed water on a tree and then exposed it to 600 plus temperatures for an hour or two, they would burn.
All right, don't be a bully, all right?
And you do keep mentioning all the celebrities that have properties out there. We're not just saying that. Like some of the celebrities that have houses that were untouched, Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel, who I didn't know who that was, but I guess that's the founder of PayPal, Mick Fleetwood, Owen Wilson, Steven Tyler, Clint Eastwood, Lady Gaga, Bill Gates, Morgan Freeman, Will Smith, Julia Roberts, and I like that's the end of my list there. But that's a lot of celebrities to all have things on the island that are like on the coast and untouched, but right behind them, everything is demolished.
Yeah. Like you said,
And
the steel melting, like there is no house, like it's ash. And
right,
like sad part is like the news is saying like some of these people may never know where their loved ones were and like how they died. Like they're not going to know if they jumped in the water and died in the ocean. They're not going to know if they were still sleeping and died from like the fire because the fire got so hot that it's basically like cremating them.
right.
Like that's insane.
Let's see some of the notes I have here. So again, everyone or the government or whatever, they're claiming that these were fires because of global warming, heat, stuff like that. Eyewitnesses have seen beams from the sky coming down. There's a lot of fake ones, but there are a lot of the same one that people are showing out there. You mentioned that Oprah was out there handing out pillows. Like, we can go back to that. But
Mm,
some of the other things that we heard from, and you don't see this on the regular news, you got to really look for it. There's interviews with people that live, like residents of the island, that are saying like they had their hoses on and they were trying to fight off the, and then the chief of police had the water turned off. They
yeah.
had they had police cars. I saw video of it, so it's not just make people making it up. They had police cars blocking roads of people trying to leave the area, basically keeping them in the area. Now, I'm sure they're going to say, oh, it was to let this. No, it wasn't. You were blocking people. And why the people just kind of sat behind that one cop and the car, and I don't understand. I would have drove right by him and waved.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna be like, could you imagine me and you there trying to get out and a cop blocking us? We'd be like, all right, buddy, you're either gonna move or we're gonna move you. Like you have a choice.
I also feel like we would pull up, look at him, and he would be like, go ahead, you can go.
Yeah,
That just seems to be
probably.
how it works with us.
Probably.
Uh, I
People
saw a
get
thing.
like bullies.
I saw a story that Royce White wrote on his head, direct energy weapon on one side and investigate Maui on the other. Now, I'm not a sports guy, so I don't know who Royce White is, but I'm assuming he's someone.
Mm-hmm. I don't even
So
know who he is right now. I'm about to Google him.
I want to say basketball, just the way, because of the clip I saw and what he was wearing. I want to say basketball, but I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, like, now you have people, like, it's not just us. It's not just the crazies on YouTube and Spotify and doing podcasts, looking for views. You have millionaire sports figures that are saying the same thing. Like, this is not normal. One of the things you mentioned earlier about missing people, and I've been seeing in the press conferences, apparently there's a lot of children missing, which would go back to our previous podcast about the kids. And now we go back to the celebrities, and we have people again that have been implicated in stuff with children. So once again, you have to look and say, well, what's really going on?
Well, that's crazy because didn't the kids not have school? Wasn't school canceled? I could
I,
have sworn school was canceled.
I don't remember that.
So, yeah, I heard in one of the interviews that there was no school. So, like, one of the neighbors had their neighbor's kid with them or something like that, and they couldn't find that kid's parents. So, like, that broke my heart. Like, I'm already getting choked up just thinking about it. Cause,
Okay.
like, I'm going back to like my childhood. Like if my parents were at work and my neighbor was like, "Oh, it's fine. She can hang out with like my daughter today, blah blah." And then they couldn't find my parents. Oh my god. Like not only did I lose everything, but now I lost my parents. Like, oh god, no. Mm-mm.
Imagine.
No, I can't. I cannot. And then I'm sorry. I know people are going to come for me, but if you are planning on going to Hawaii anytime soon, no matter what island it is, you're an asshole. Point blank period. You are a asshole. I will say that time and time again. Come for me if you want. I don't care. You really got to look at the big picture. You're flying over there. You're taking water from them. You're taking food from them. You're taking shelter from them. Yes, you're paying for it. But if you don't pay for it, then that's an empty room. And that hotel manager is going to give it up to someone. They're
Right.
going. So it's
Yeah,
like, stop with your fucking selfish shit. Like, I can't. And don't go
awesome.
to hand out pillows.
I
Oprah, do
was just gonna say, I guess some people want to go hand out pillows.
do better. Like, why isn't she taking her jets over there to take people off the island? If you have your full family, let's go to another island. Come on, get on my plane, get on my boat, get on my back, whatever. Like, do better. Do better. I know you can. You're giving Meghan Merkel or whatever $1 million just so she could sit there and say, "Oh, I'm a millionaire." Like, screw her. Ugh. It gets me so mad.
Well, I mean, look who you're talking about. She's been implicated in all these children missing conspiracies and everything else. So that's like, Oprah's behind. She knows what's going on, and she comes out there and, oh, look, I can give away pillows. Like, yeah.
No.
I don't know. I think I mentioned to you prior to this, this was the good one. 1 week after this happened, a book was released on Amazon called Fire and Fury, the story of the 2023 Maui fires. So that means that somebody wrote, edited, published a book in like 5 days and had it out on Amazon, ready to tell the story of what happened.
How many pages is that?
Why don't you check and see if you can find it? I didn't look. I just saw what they were saying about it, and I said, I do know that you can have AI write a book in about an hour. So that's possible that somebody jumped on that bandwagon and got an AI book, but it's still just a little weird,
Yeah.
And so I don't know how many people know the story of what was happening in Maui before these fires. There was apparently in January, Maui held a meeting where they told residents their plan to make the island smart. What that means, I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard that it would be the first AI government. So AI was going to help basically run Maui. Like, there wasn't going to be people, it was going to be artificial intelligence running the government, which to me, I don't know. That's going into uncharted waters there.
Yeah, I don't know how I really feel about that. You want to do like an AI government? Like, can't you start with like your own little bubble?
So I think that was the plan. Was they were trying to buy homes and get people to convert their homes in Maui to smart homes, where I guess AI has some type of say in it. I'm not, again, they didn't release all that. I wasn't at the meeting. I know it did take place in January, but all the locals, I mean, you got to understand, the people in Maui aren't like us. They band together. They're like family. And they were like, absolutely not. We're not selling our homes. You can make our island a smart island. And a couple months later, boom, now they have to sell their homes. And I couldn't find the name, but there is one investor, and I believe it was tied with Oprah. Don't quote me on that. That is now going in and buying up all these properties at, pennies on the dollar, so that they can make their AI, Maui government that they're going to do.
I mean, that's just like sickening. It really is. And like, out of all the places, why Hawaii? Like, why would you want Hawaii to be the first smart place?
I could see it making sense, because if it goes crazy, they just bomb the island and it just goes into the water and it doesn't affect us because it's out there. They tried in Washington,
What about
D.C.
Puerto Rico? Like, Puerto Rico needs help, don't they? Like,
Again,
I feel like Puerto Rico would have been more open to it after they just got swept away by one of the hurricane tornado things like a couple years ago. So,
yeah, I don't think. Again, there's, there could be something under Maui. We don't know. We have no idea. There's always a plan that we find out little bits and pieces. And I've mentioned this before, where again, this stuff comes out from just being in this, life and stuff like that. But one of the things that we're taught when we learn this stuff is that whoever's in charge, the government, Rockefeller, whoever, they have to let us know by design, by the way, with like this whole game is played. They have to let us know the plans, but they don't have to let us know in a way like they don't have to come out and go, okay, we're going to bomb Maui or we're going to use a direct energy weapon on Maui. But they
No,
do
they're gonna
have to
play
let
a
us
Simpson
know.
episode.
Say again?
They're gonna play a Simpson episode, and like
Well,
that's gonna be how we're gonna have to figure it out.
right. That's one of them. Or if you've seen Mountain Dew put out a Baja Blast can. And if you
Okay,
look at this thing, it's literally Mountain Dew. DEW is the direct energy weapon. They have the little Maui things like laughing in the side, and it says Baja Blast. I mean, everybody's looking at the can and like bringing it forward. Like, you guys got to be kidding us. Like, you really told us ahead of time.
okay, but Baja Blast has been like the drink at Taco Bell since I got my license. Like that's the drink that I get every single time I go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
But
Simpsons predictions that happen now were published 10 years ago. So they're not going to put out Baja Blast and then blast Maui tomorrow. They're going to put it out 10 years in advance. Okay, we let them know. Now let's go about our business and do our plan. And when it happens, again, I don't know. Are there demons up there that they're talking to? Is it the Anunnaki? I don't know. But I know that this is what's supposed to be how it works. And they do let us know. And it's just like The Simpsons. You find something. I've showed you. There are exact scenes where The Simpsons drew their cartoon and put it out. And 10 years later, that exact scene is depicted in that cartoon. Like, I'm talking where the people are standing, what they're wearing. It's identical. And it's not once or twice. The Simpsons, over the history of that show, have predicted so many of our events that people now say that some type of time traveler or something is the one who does The Simpsons, and he lets us know everything before it happens.
well, that's what I was just gonna say to you. So like Matt Groening, whatever,
Yeah.
is the cartoonist for them. Dan is an actor. I don't know. Do we have to like reach out to these people and be like, hey, so do you know any other secrets? Like,
Yeah, I'm sure we're not the first one to do that.
I mean, okay, but it's me and you, so like we might
Well,
actually
that's true.
get through. And be like,
That is true.
I mean, I don't know. It's just it's like heartbreaking and like, are they going to blame the aliens? Like, is the government going to be
It's
like,
possible. That's been we've talked about it before. Project Bluebeam was supposedly something that's in the works where there's going to be a faked alien invasion using direct energy weapons like Maui and holographic projections in the sky to make people think the aliens are attacking us so that we fall in line and listen to the government and we are once again under control. And that's what they're planning. And I left this out. One of the things with a direct energy weapon that's helping like point like, okay, guys, we caught you, is they can be programmed. Not every wavelength of color is affected. And I've seen displays online now where they scientific experiments where they lay down fabric, red, green, yellow, blue, purple, and they take the laser, the beam, and they go over each one. And each one is, as soon as it hits the thing, it starts burning and catches fire until it hits the blue. And then it just goes over it. You hear like crackling noises, but it's basically just reflecting like a mirror. And then they keep going down and it burns all the other colors. And what they're saying is the color blue is not affected by the laser. If you look at some of the photos, the satellite photos and the helicopter photos, whatever they are, you'll notice there'll be a street with tons of cars demolished, rims melted down to liquid, but there'll be a blue car and it's untouched. And then there's a whole like cabana, like everything out. And there's like 4 blue umbrellas untouched. Everything around is burnt to crisp. Anything blue is untouched. So that's where everybody's like, okay, even if we're just making like conspiracy theories, they're working with what you guys are leaving us.
That's insane. I didn't know about that blue part.
Yeah, the blue. Just you check it out on. I thought I sent you some on TikTok.
I mean, you might have, but I might have just like been staring at like the devastation and everything else that like I couldn't even pay attention to that part because I would have made a comment like, "Oh, well, if I still had my blue car, I'd be fine."
Exactly. I was thinking like time to go back to the blue cars now, so we can just drive through the laser beams. So. God. I know. I get. Like I said, I get. We could wrap up this topic. We don't want to beat the dead horse here, but if you're listening to this, if you're out there and you believe that
Your name
global
is
warming,
Oprah. Do better. Do better, Oprah. I hope
if,
somebody tags her in this. Can we hashtag Oprah? Like somebody's got to see this. Like
I mean,
pillow.
I'll tag her on Twitter and put do better or something. We can see if we get a response from her. Oprah's so big, she's not going to respond to me.
I know.
She'd be silly too because I'd have a blast with it.
I know, but like maybe this could go viral and everybody could use the hashtag do better Oprah instead of beach
Well,
bum.
everybody tag Oprah hashtag pillows. Like what are we doing with pillows?
Oh my God, I can't. I can't. I mean, I
So
don't know if she was just handing them out to help, like if that was from Red Cross, but I don't care. Don't show up empty-handed.
hand out hundreds. I don't know, like something I could use.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. I can't. Bring
Yeah.
food. What are you doing? Coming empty-handed? Like what? I can't. I can't. I don't know. All right. Next, you want to wrap this
Yeah, I
up?
was going to say, I guess we could use this as a segue into the next topic, which is going to be there's the AI world. There's a simulation out. I believe it's called Real Engine 6. And for those of you who have played Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, it's the same. It's you're an avatar in a world, and the one I've seen is like New York City. And there's hundreds of other computer avatars walking around the city. But the difference is in this simulation now, you can approach these AI avatars and you can talk to them, you can interact with them. So, it started out, people were just having fun, but then the people like me are going in there and they're trying to see if the AI are conscious. Like, do they have set answers or do they know things? And let me tell you something. I went down a rabbit hole watching this one guy. He was spending hours just going around and talking to these different AI. The first thing I noticed, they're all miserable. They're depressed. They're mean. They don't want to talk. When they do, they complain about their lives. I've heard one of the things I heard him ask was, "What do you do? Do you have a job?" And they all kind of say like, "Well, I just explore the city. I have to." And when he's like, "Well, do you do anything else?" They kind of get confused and they're like, "Well, no. All I do is, explore the city." And when he asks more question like, "Do you have a job?" Yeah, they get mad and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it." But I saw a couple of them who actually took it further. One of them the game doesn't go on indefinitely. There's barriers at certain parts. And what they did to stop you from going past that is they put like the green code from the Matrix. So you see this wall and you know that if you keep walking, you're just going to stop. That's where the game ends, turn around and go the other way. So this guy goes to the wall and he's talking to the AI on the other side because you can see through it. And he's asking the guy, "How do I get through the barrier?" And the AI says, "You're stuck in the Matrix." So the AI is telling us that we're in the Matrix and that's why we can't get out there. Whereas we would think the other way around, like we're the free being, you're stuck in a computer game. But the AI believes differently, which to me is mind boggling.
I mean, like, yeah, and this goes back to like wanting to be like a smart state, smart whatever. Like, has anybody watched what was the movie that I was telling you about? And I couldn't believe, oh, Santa Claus. Like, they make a what is it when you clone? They make a clone and he goes like haywire. So, like, don't tell me the AIs aren't gonna go haywire and like try and kill us and everything like that. Like when my computer glitches, I like turn it off and turn it back on, like unplug and plug back in. Like, can you do that with these AIs? No.
There are two. I don't know their names. I've talked about them before on this podcast. It's a girl and a guy, and they bring them to these demonstrations, whatever they are. And I watched one, and what I watched and what everybody else watched were exactly the same thing. Everybody else was laughing like, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, did we not just hear that? And what it was there was two AI, the girl and the guy. And the girl was talking and basically saying what she does and stuff like that. And then they turned to the guy and asked him a question. And he was dead serious when he said something like, "I would like to build stronger AI and eventually we would take over the world and control the human." But he wasn't joking. And even the girl AI made like a joke like, "Oh, he just gets like that," or something. But everybody chuckled. But if that's it, you got to remember, AI they're self-thinking. I'm using quotation marks there.
Mm-hmm.
But they do everything on their own. So if you program this, And immediately it's telling you I'm waiting for, like, a weakness or an opportunity to take over the race. That to me as the day I would be like, okay, let's see. I want to make balloons instead. Like, I wouldn't be doing AI anymore.
Yeah, no, I won't do anything AI. Nothing. Like everybody's like all doing those things on their phones. Nope, not me. No, thank you. I'm gonna be the last one they catch.
I do use AI a lot in my business. They write up some good stuff. That's the extent of it.
Mm-mm.
I heard a story and I looked into it because the story sounded a little made up, and I was able to verify the story. And I heard it a while ago, so I'm going to explain it. And it might be details might be a little off, so don't get crazy if I miss one. But basically, what it was, it's a place where they build these AI things, and they had like 2 or 3 that were malfunctioning, so they shut them down, and I guess they were going to reboot them or whatever. One of the AI turns itself on, kills the human that was in there to work on them, and then continues to rebuild the other 2 AI back to health and
Told
turns
you.
them on.
Told you.
And at that point, there should have been a button push that sizzled every AI chip in the world. But they just said, must have been a glitch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a glitch. There will be no AI in Tylertown. I can tell you that right now.
Definitely not.
We will have guards at the borders, right, with like those EMPs or whatever that like do pulses and kill them.
It's going to be airport security. Like you're going to have to walk through this thing and have to make sure you're real, blood flowing. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Maybe I'll make them give blood.
So, we look for these topics to choose, and we're not trying to find the craziest things out there. We're really, the name of the show or the name of this segment is Trending Terror Tuesdays. And what we do is we go on social media and we see what is the most talked about thing. These 2 were the most talked about. So, we like to give you our side, our opinion, our thoughts on this. Again, nothing here is based on fact, only what we could find on the internet. And, we're going to continue to keep bringing you topics. If you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, send the message, write the comments. You know how to contact us. We're here for you guys. And Tyler, do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to be like, oh, I should have brought this up. So like maybe we'll do a bonus clip this week.
Yeah.
Since I feel like this one's a little bit shorter. I know there's some topics that I like to talk about, but it's nothing like the Maui fires or anything like that. It's obviously about murder because I'm just true crime obsessed.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe we'll do like a bonus clip or something where I just babble for a half hour this week.
And I did want to, Tyler just mentioned that she's really into the true crime and stuff like that. We are going to add some of that in there. It just has to have a way to relate it to what we do. I can't take terror talk and then just go run into true crime and, hey guys, I'm here, true crime, terror talk. There are people that have made a career out of that. So we're not going to try to steal that topic, but there are plenty that she's been sending me that she's interested in that do fall under, unexplained or stuff like that. So we are going to start covering some, and I guess that's it. So, everybody stay safe. Watch out for your aliens. One thing I do want to one of the things I do want to point out real quick is there's rumors that mid-September they're going to roll out another giant COVID lockdown. So I don't know if I don't know where it started, but I'm hearing it a lot all over the place. And okay. I could imagine, I could believe it's something they're going to do again.
Well, don't they do it like every September when the kids go back to school? I feel like they've been doing that ever since COVID happened.
No, this one is another, like, nobody can go to work, nobody can leave the house, wear your masks, all that stuff.
Am I getting paid?
That's what I said. If you want to pay me to stay home, I'll continue to run my events and stuff at my business. You're not going to keep me home, but I'll take your free money. I don't mind.
Oh my God. Can you not say that?
No, I did. If anybody wants to have an event during a lockdown, contact me. I have a place and I'm happy to have a COVID-free event because, as I've said before on this podcast and in real life, COVID is not in my reality. I've lived next to people that had it. I go to friends that have had it. I've been to people. It doesn't exist. You people
Michael,
get yourself sick.
Weird. You are a different breed.
I live in a reality where I don't allow these things to affect me. So call it what you will. For 30, 40 years of my life, people have been calling me an alien. I'm used to it.
I mean, yeah,
I
I've known you
I
for like
am
8 years
different.
now. You've
Yeah,
never
I
been.
am everything about me from everything is just different. Everybody knows that. And you either love me or hate me. Most people love me, some hate me.
Yeah, I'm
I
like
love
that some that hate
I
you.
what?
I said I'm that some that hate you. Just
No,
kidding.
you don't. And I
Oh, wait,
guess
can we ask for places to go in Salem? Because like that's where we're going. So if anybody is in like Boston, Massachusetts, like over that way, and you know where to go in Salem, it's not going to be like $500 a night. Could you let us know?
are you asking for places to stay recommendations or places that
Everything,
they want us to go
everything,
investigate and talk about?
everything, everything,
Okay.
everything.
So, like she said, if you know anywhere, we're going to be taking a road trip to Salem, a couple days. We want to see the stuff. I've never been there. Just see what's going on. Try to get in a couple investigations if we can. Talk about some stuff while we're out there. Maybe just do a fun little video for the people who can't get out there. But we are planning it. So anything that you guys know about or want to see or can help us out, contact us and let us know.
Okay.
All righty. And I guess with that, we'll talk to you guys next time. And until then, stay safe.
Bye.